Hey guys, so there's a lot of information for me to talk about, so I'm gonna just stick to the notes. I'm gonna try to get through it quickly, then I'll speak from the heart. My name is Philip Anderson. The reason why I went to the Capitol on January 6th isn't because Donald Trump or his followers were a threat to democracy. The reason I went to the Capitol on January 6th is because the Democrats have completely and utterly destroyed democracy, and they have turned into nation killers. My two front teeth are fake. That's because the Democrats mutilated my face just a couple months before the 2020 election at my free speech rally and protests against big tech. And I invited everyone from both sides, both Republican and Democrat, to come join us, even if they disagreed with me. I said dozens of times that everyone who disagrees with me is welcome to walk up to the microphone on stage and give a speech about how wrong or evil I am for believing in free speech and equality. But instead of choosing to speak and debate, the Democrats declared that we didn't have the right to speech, peaceful assembly, or protest, and they violently attacked every man, woman, child, and elder that tried to get into the event. They hospitalized multiple people, including myself. And just hours after the Democrats committed this act of terrorism, this vicious hate crime, I was banned from Facebook, I was banned from Instagram, I was banned from Twitter, I was banned from GoFundMe, I was banned from Airbnb, I was banned from TikTok, I was banned from every platform known to man. And all the other platforms, with no explanation given to why I was being completely deplatformed, banned for life, and cut off from the entire world. They took down my GoFundMe that raised $38,000. They manipulated Google's search results against me, wiping the hundreds of positive news stories about me, and only allowing the fake news hit pieces to pop up when you search my name. They manipulated YouTube's search results against me, hiding all the positive news and only showing the negative news. Facebook even put a false information fact check on every single picture and video that people posted of my mutilated, bloody face. Even now, if you post a picture of my bloody face, on Facebook, it'll have a false information fact check on it, completely censoring the picture. You can't even see a picture of my face on Facebook now, because my face is false information, according to the Democrats that are running Facebook. They did this to me, a black man, an immigrant. They took everything I had just hours after being the victim of this Democrat hate crime and terrorist attack, and they can't even explain why they did it. My entire life's work, everything I had spent years building, literally everything I had, was stolen and destroyed by the very Democrats claiming to be the protectors of democracy and equality. They have been censoring, shadow banning, demonetizing, and algorithmically oppressing millions of Americans every single day. The Democrats did more than just use big tech and the internet to steal the 2020 election. They also made it so that only Democrats were allowed to be in movies. Only Democrats were allowed to be on the cover of magazines. Only Democrats were allowed to be in advertisements. Only Democrats were allowed to be in music videos. Only Democrats were allowed to be in TV shows. And everything else, only Democrats were allowed. Only Democrats are allowed to be seen and heard. Only Democrats are allowed to influence our culture. And these nation-killing, nation-murdering parasites have the audacity to call this freedom and democracy. They have the audacity to call us Americans a threat to democracy. And what have you Democrats ever done for America aside from raping it to death? The Democrats rigged big tech against us. They rigged the internet against us. They rigged the media against us. They rigged the search browsers against us. They rigged Hollywood against us. They rigged the medical institutions against us. They rigged corporate America against us. They rigged the company against us. They rigged all institutions against us. They rigged society itself against us. And then they turn around and say, by the way, the election was not rigged against you. Wow, it's laughable. It's laughable. They do it right in front of your face. They have the nerve to say that. And then The Democrats had taken away our freedom, raped our country, and destroyed democracy in order to steal the election with their communist overthrow that we all witnessed the years of Donald Trump's presidency. I'm an immigrant that chose to be an American in order to get away from oppressors like the Democrats. So I chose to show up and protest against their tyrannical communist rule over the American people. But because I chose to protest their tyrannical communism, my life and my rights no longer had any value to the Democrat government. The same way that my life and my rights had no longer had any value to the Democrats that run the social media platforms that erase my existence and ban me for life. Because the Democrats no longer believe in democracy, they are now nation-killing parasites, nation killers. So the Capitol Police tried to murder me, and they nearly succeeded. They almost killed me. The only reason I'm alive today is because Jake Lang saved my life. Thank you so much, Jake. Thank you. In a narrow tunnelway, the Capitol Police gassed us so that we couldn't breathe. Then they drenched us from head to toe with mace, shot us with rubber bullets, beat us with their batons, and kept beating and pushing people on top of us. They kept doing this until there was 30 people on top of me and on Roseanne Boyland. Roseanne was holding my hand as we were both getting crushed to death. Everyone was blinded by the mace and suffocated by the gas as they were getting shot point blank by rubber bullets and getting beaten over the head and the face with batons and fists. People were desperately crawling over one another to get away from the Capitol Police. The Capitol Police turned that tunnel into a kill box. If you don't get out fast enough, if you don't get away from the Capitol Police quickly enough, you die. The Capitol Police were murdering us, and they refused to stop even after we were screaming at the top of our lungs that they were killing us. We were screaming at the top of our lungs that they were killing us for minute after minute after minute. Stop! You're killing me! I'm begging you! Begging you! I'm going to die! You're killing us! I can't breathe! My legs are breaking! I can't see! My head is gonna break open! The Capitol Police continued murdering us even as the crowd outside the tunnel was screaming, begging the Capitol Police, begging the Capitol Police to stop. After Roseanne Boyland's body gave out and she let go of my hand, I knew that I was going to die at the hands of the Capitol Police. I accepted that I was going to die, so I said my final prayer. Then Jake Lang managed to grab me and pull me away from the Capitol Police to safety. The killers, the Capitol Police, are being hailed as heroes without being questioned or investigated. And Jake Lang gets thrown in prison and tortured every day. This is who the Democrats are. This is what they do. As Roseanne Boyland's body lay on the ground, dead still, a Capitol Police officer beat on Roseanne Boyland's head with a baton. She didn't stop beating down on her until the baton broke and flew out of her hand. Over and over and over again until the baton breaks and flies out of her hand. They murdered an unarmed woman. I say that again. They murdered an unarmed woman in front of the entire crowd, which is the real reason why the lying piece of shit Capitol Police officers from the impeachment hearing and the January 6th committee were rushed by Trump supporters and dragged down the steps because they murdered Roseanne Boyland in front of them all, and they nearly murdered me as well. And in all the videos that are presented during the impeachment hearing and during the January 6th committee, they cut out my unconscious body, they cut out Roseanne Boyland's dead body, because they want to cut out the context. They don't want you to see why those Capitol Police officers are rushed by Trump supporters and dragged down the steps. Because for minute after minute after minute, the crowd outside the tunnel was begging those Capitol Police to stop murdering Trump supporters, and the Capitol Police continued murdering innocent people. If it wasn't for those Trump supporters that are currently in the DC gulag, currently locked in prison, I would not be with you today. I would be dead. And if I hadn't survived to tell the truth, they would have gone away with all their lies about Roseanne Boyland. They lied about Roseanne's cause of death. First, they said that Roseanne died of a drug overdose. That was a lie. I came forward, I said, that's not the reason why she died. You killed her. Then they came out a second time and said, okay, it wasn't a drug overdose. Actually, it was Trump supporters that killed her. I came out again. I said that was a lie. Then they came out again and say, oh, she died because she drank coffee that morning. Once again, another lie. I come out, I say, you're lying. You murdered an American citizen. You're supposed to be our government. You murder American citizens and you lie about it. Roseanne never laid a finger on anyone. She didn't even say anything to anyone. Roseanne wasn't even close enough to the Capitol Police when they began murdering her to see them. She couldn't see them. She did nothing. She said nothing. She did nothing wrong. Yet these Democrats tell filthy lies saying that she was a terrorist and got what she deserved. The Capitol Police lied. The media lied. And the Democrats lied during both the January 6th Commission and the impeachment hearings. They deceptively edited videos and left out context to push their anti-Trump supporter narratives. Eric Swalwell, for example, cut my unconscious body and Roseanne Boylan's dead body out of videos he presented in the impeachment hearing in order to push lies about Trump supporters rushing police officers for no reason. To this day, they refuse to call me forward. To this day, still to this very day, they refuse to call me forward to testify and only call forward the Capitol Police officers to testify that are directly responsible for Roseanne Boylan's death. So first they murder her, and then they get to talk about how it's so wonderful how they murdered her and how they're heroes for doing it and how they're the victims. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I'm from a third world country, and I haven't seen anything like that even there. So it's pretty sad, honestly. Our Democrat government murdered an innocent woman, lied about the cause of death, put medals around the necks of her murderers, they blocked all witnesses from coming forward. Then they ruled that her murder was reasonable. The Capitol Police ruled that her murder was reasonable. The government ruled that her murder was reasonable. That was in the news recently. And then they incinerated her body before I could get to it, before her family members could get to it, before any of us could get to Roseanne Boylan's body. This Democrat government incinerated it to cover up their murder. If I'm not telling the truth, then why don't you present her body? Oh, that's right, you burn it to ash before people can see the truth because you murdered her and you almost murdered me. And if you had succeeded in killing me, I'm sure you would have lied about my cause of death being because of a drug overdose or Trump supporters killing me. You would have lied about my cause of death if I was not here today. So I'm glad I was able to survive to point out that you're evil people. And that's exactly what the Democrats are. Only a communist government does things like this. And once again, I remind you that these are the Democrats who claim to be the protectors of democracy and equality. The Democrats murder their political opponents and then lie about it. They throw their political opponents in jail, deny them due process, ration their food, torture them every day, which is what they're currently doing to Jake Lang. The Democrats arrest real criminals only to release them from jail just hours later, knowing that they will immediately go out and commit dangerous crimes, go out and hurt innocent people. Yet they keep their political opponents in jail indefinitely and deny them due process when they know damn well that they aren't criminals, have no criminal history, and would only go back to their family and back to work and not commit any crimes. The Democrats burned America to the ground for 5 months straight. For 5 entire months, the same Democrats went on a crime spree every single night, but none of them have been punished for it. The Democrats believe that a Republican should be imprisoned for life for allegedly rioting for 5 minutes or even just 5 seconds, and that a Democrat who rioted for 5 months should receive no punishment. They send the FBI to hunt down Republicans every day, but they do nothing about the people that burn down police stations, businesses, churches, courthouses, and also tore down monuments and desecrated graves for month after month. America promises freedom, liberty, and justice for all. The Democrats seize power specifically to break that promise. And that is the reason why we are all here today, because the Democrats have broken that promise. All of us being here right now and publicly holding up the undeniable truth for everyone to see, that should be enough to bring change. But unfortunately, because we live with Democrats, they will never allow us to have freedom. They will never allow us to have liberty. They will never allow us to have justice. And they will never allow us to have democracy. And the Democrats will always abuse their power to force their way against the will of the people. As an immigrant, I've seen this kind of stuff before. Democrats are the greatest threat to this country. They will completely destroy America if the American people do not stand up and bring an end to their tyranny. Thank you.
Everybody please give a round of applause as you are for Philip Anderson.